tours have you played, 𝙬𝙬𝙬, so far?
I played 3 of them.
3. Okay.
Yeah, 3.
And it's a tough schedule, right? You're playing all the time, but you know you've enjoyed it. And...
Yeah, it's exhausting and takes energy, and especially if you prepare beforehand. I think the first tournament I made now, the first tournament I was preparing way too much, and this last one I was somehow decided to conserve my energy and prepared way too little, and both were completely wrong. So you have to find that let's say middle ground, and I think I found it in the second tournament I played, where I was quite well prepared and had some energy, but it's easy to go wrong, yeah, then you play like 5 games a day, and it's and all games are tough, so definitely very, very tough.
Yeah, I mean, just commentating on these tournaments, you know, I find it, you know, you get to like
get the guitar out, Danny.
Yeah, exactly. It's time. Yeah, that's sometimes how I feel, because you know you get to kind of game 4 and you know you feel this incredible dip, and I know what it's like, you know, playing in these well, rapid play events or whatever. Really hard to keep the energy going. I mean, what do you do in between the games? Do you kind of stuff yourself with some energy bar, or you know, what do you do? How do you?
I sometimes drink a coffee, but actually, usually I probably do the worst thing, and that's just looking at my lines in preparation before the next game. There's usually like 10-15 minutes, and I usually play on my desktop computer and go back to my laptop and look at the lines. But maybe it's not the correct strategy. I think once I made really quick draw, and I just went for a long walk outside, like basically like 1 hour, and that helped a lot. So maybe I should have done that every game, but it's too tempting for me not to look at some preparation instead. But and eating basically doesn't happen a lot. Yeah, I usually eat after some energy bars or maybe some smoothies quickly in between, but nothing much.
By the way, on the game, this knight a4, this is the only running game at the moment, and Wesley needs to win with black in a fairly even position. But knight a4 is
king f1.
Okay, well, we have bishop b5 now, and they could be entering into an ending of some sorts here, right? More pieces to exchange.
Maybe there's some tiny chances for black, right? At least, I mean, it's so little, but you can imagine if the black king gets to d6 or c5, you get some chance, but it's currently far away because king is still in g8, but maybe some small potential. Also, there's maybe threat of c6, so gotta watch out.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just wondering about this actually, because yeah, I think the issue is that, okay, let me make a random move for white. I don't know. Okay, it wasn't the random move I was going to go for, but I think that's actually quite an important move to guard the rook, because you know there is potential to even play c5 sometimes and bring the king here. I don't know, but I think that's important because it gives white more options. Obviously, if c6, then that just hoovers everything off the board.
What if black now brings the king though? Can
exactly. Let's have a look.
Yeah, it starts to look slightly unpleasant for white.
Yeah.
Right? Or do you guys disagree? I mean, I would start to pick black here, and looks like easy play for black.
I mean, I'd like to go white pawn to c5, but if you go c4, you just go b6, and I don't think I have time to, you know, play c5 and rook c1 even.
Maybe you gotta go active with g4.
Yeah, I was just wondering, g4 and f4 and just bring the king up.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess he will play f4 or g4 first, one of those. And
so, I mean, at least puts the question to the bishop.
Okay. So bishop e4 in time, or
yeah,
not?
Okay. Let's try this.
Now let's say king e7.
King e7. Yeah.
Try to.
But now f3 and c5.
c5, yeah, and you get it in. Okay. I think this is important. If white can get the c5 in, white is absolutely fine. But if black can get king d6 in, white's in maybe a lot of trouble even, yeah? But this position, yeah.
But if we just play b6 here?
I guess rook c1. Oh, wait, rook c1.
Yeah, but then d5.
I've been blundering things all tournament, and I still do so.
This is a little bit awkward for white, isn't it? Because, I mean, obviously, if we can get something like this and put the king here, then,
If I go rook c1 now, though, I mean, maybe this is. Do you take with the
But
a pawn?
CB, you can also go CB.
Yeah,
like
CB
take
might
B,
be.
you can take with pawn. Yeah,
Yeah.
this pawn, and you get this queenside majority.
Yeah.
I was looking at d6 check, and then if c takes d6, then to go c6, but it feels very shady. Like I don't rook c8 and then rook c1 and then bishop a6, but I don't quite believe in it for white. So,
yeah. But also, I mean, the bishop can always come out. So,
yeah,
something like this.
You guys must know this saying: long variation, bad variation. So we're like 7 moves in, I guess.
Yeah.
It's time to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing us
keeping us back on track.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if that king gets to d6, it's just quite a simple idea. Well, he's gone f3, so we have a move. But if the king gets to d6, I think white's going to lose, probably. That would be my, overall thought about this position. So it's kind of critical here.
So let's go king e7. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why for Firouzja, he basically did it to himself a little bit. Of course, he playing too much for the draw, and I understand why, but it has shown already several times that it's maybe not the best strategy. Even against Anish in the preliminaries, he almost lost that game. So and maybe here again he's in trouble. So yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Okay, so king d6. Let's go. Yeah, king e3 can be met by rook e8. This is an issue.
Just unpleasant to defend this one. Definitely.
I would
really
still play
unpleasant.
g4, but very, very unpleasant. Maybe not losing, but at least worse and practically hard to play for white. So
yeah,
Wesley must be thrilled to get this. And if he wins, they have a blitz playoff, or
yeah, I think so. We can bring up the scores hopefully for a second and just see what's left, because obviously with so much action going on, it's a little bit confusing at times. But with the scores up, we can check out that if Wesley does win, that means he levels the scores, because Alireza won yesterday. That's why drawing the match today will mean Alireza goes through the semi. So it would be a blitz playoff if Wesley wins. And the same goes for Dominguez. Dominguez has to win to take it to a blitz playoff. So yes is the answer, basically.
To which question, Simon? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I'm sure to one of the questions, Danny. I don't know which one. And no is also the answer. I'm just covering every base now, so make sure I'm covered. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, blitz could be very possible. But I think it's right. Whenever we see this, whenever we see a player playing for a draw with the exchange French, with something with the white pieces, it just seems to be always the wrong strategy. Playing for a draw when you need a draw is just not the right thing to do. You need to play your normal game, and this is something Alireza is not doing in this position or game.
So the king is on d6.
Yeah, and basically we said if the king reaches d6, black is much better, right? So I think yeah.
By the way, the Dominguez game has also started, and just to let everyone know here, Dominguez needs to win with black in this game, which is going to be tough.
Wait, I don't think I've ever seen Artemeyev play like this with white. He never plays d4 followed by c4. It's very rare occurrence in these games.
So he plays a lot sharper variation when he needs a draw. So this is going the opposite way to Alireza versus Wesley. So
yeah.
Well, so maybe it's just about discouraging that. Anyway, it's gone king e3. So we're about to find, and king c5
and king c5 happens, and now
b5.
Situation is getting critical for white, because if he doesn't find any concrete defense against b5, his position can just fall apart. Even I can envision sometimes like we'll play f6 and then reroute his bishop via h7 to g8. It's not like king d2. I can go bishop h7 back. Maybe, I don't know if he will do it, but then he's got this plan of going f6 bishop g8. Probably not a good plan, but who knows?
Well, it's a very attractive plan, I think. If he can't get anything in this position, but yeah, maybe puts it on b1 first, a little finesse, just to to encourage white to play king c1 and then all the way back to h7.
That's very subtle. Yeah, usually I play such moves in classical chess thinking to be very clever, and then later on it turns out it's not too good. By the way, also notice you can just go back to g6 with the same f6, bishop f7 plan. So both routes work. Bishop b1 maybe, but I'm betting on bishop g6 or h7, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. That's it. Yeah. The problem with this kind of thing is you can be too clever by half.
Yeah, exactly. And also, what if white doesn't go king c1, but just maybe plays bishop b3, for example? What did you achieve exactly? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm still sort of thinking about b5 stuff, but maybe then a4. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. b5, maybe a4. So this bishop c2 move was a little bit strange to me, though. I'm not sure I'm a big fan. Maybe it was good, but I don't quite see what he gained. And he does go back to g6.
Okay, let's find out. This is interesting. So, yeah, your plan of f6 and bishop f7 looks very attractive to me.
Yeah, and he does it.
f6. Yeah. And wait a second. And rook g4.
Yeah, that's just the one trick.
Yeah, then bishop
only
h7.
kind of threat to just move. I can also play bishop h5 maybe, or basically doesn't improve white's. It just postpones the problems, or
maybe gives a check first.
Can I take on? Oh, no, sorry, I'm completely blind once again. Rook d4 and I lose the game. So
rook d4, yeah, okay, like this, yeah, okay. So okay, he gave the check on c4. No, he played. Excuse me, he played rook a4 and king b6.
Okay.
Hi guys, just back again. I know Jordan, if you have to run at some moment, just let us know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think I'll stay for a couple more minutes and see. I want to see where this game goes, and then I'll leave you guys alone again.
That's all good. I mean, can white
floundering?
Can white play c4, c5? I was just wondering. He has played it. I mean, if he can swap a pawn off, that's going to help him, no?
But now maybe Danny's move of c5 with black, although that looks kind of suspect, I have to say, positionally speaking. Yeah, this rook, I got some dreams like to get the same kind of bishop Duda had to trap this rook as well, but the rook can always escape via a3, and then bishop a4 is coming, and this is really not what you want with black.
Yeah, it's a pity because, if we, I don't know, if we can try and construct some position, but yeah, the rook can come out. It's a great shame. I think it's a really cute idea, actually.
If white would meet c5 by playing a3, we would be very happy. But
okay, he's gone rook e7.
Yeah, that does make more sense.
Well, I suppose white can be reasonably happy that he's traded a couple of pawns, but of course black still has the positional advantage.
Yeah, but like I said, if white does manage to trade some pawns, it's usually beneficial to him. So takes, and also the rook gets active, like king d6. I can go rook to a8.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, rook a8 is very annoying and with hassle potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's getting closer to a draw than a black win if white does manage to activate his rook, and he does.
Yeah, I mean, generally, the rule is the more pawns that exchange, the better, and this gets rid of one of those weak pawns, the c pawn. So Wesley must have gone wrong somewhere to allow this exchange. Definitely, he must be kicking himself here. But Jordan, I think we can let you go now as well, because I know you're probably due to go. But it's great to have you on. And what's next for you just before you go? Have you got any tournaments lined up? Anything planned?
Yeah, actually, I'll play in Sweden, the 𝙬𝙬𝙬𝙬 tournament later. Is it this month? It's September. Yeah, it's September. So later this month, starting 23rd, I believe. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And I'll probably be playing the online Olympiad as well for the Dutch team, like a little bit. So a lot of chess coming up for sure.
Great. All right, Jordan. Well, thanks a lot and good luck with those ones. And
was fun hanging around, and enjoy, guys.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck, Jordan. Good
okay,
luck.
bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.
Okay, that was Simon. That was really interesting. Earlier we were talking about not knowing what day of the week it is.
Yes,
and Jordan didn't even know what month it was. So that's next level.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I've also, when we used to play over the board, you had to write down the year on the, you write down the date on the score sheet, and many times I've written down the wrong year. So I have actually gone one further and just, are we in 2020 or it's not 2019? Especially at Hastings, of course, when the year changes. But makes it a bit trickier. I mean, it looks to me, Danny, like if Alireza can now get the exchange of A pawn for B pawn, it's just going to be a draw. I mean, there's surely not enough material. Is it that simple? Maybe not. Maybe not.
I think he's kind of past the worst. It looks to me.
Yeah.
Because in this position after bishop f7, I think a5 is just fine. I mean, after the takes, just taking here, and obviously that's absolutely fine because of the pin. And otherwise, well, again, it's just one more pawn exchange, isn't it? And it looks, I think, pretty comfortable. Or is rook e5 an issue? Maybe we can always give a check.
It looks like black maybe has something, but there's so little material now that white's getting closer to that draw that he needs. I mean, it's getting better, certainly. I mean, your only chance is to win that d pawn, and I don't know if you can do that.
Yeah, because I think rook e5 we can give a check, and I think it's still in control actually for Alireza. So I think
maybe there is. We've just been told by our producer, who's a very strong player as well, that maybe after rook a5 there's a c6 actually, which is
c6 an issue.
Is potentially an issue. So maybe you have to check on a6 first then.
Right. Yeah.
But then the king comes to b4 actually.
Okay, this is on the board. Oh, right. Wait a second. We got okay.
We got king c3, rook e3, and it's not so clear. Not so clear.
Did Alireza miss a tactic? Maybe he just missed the tactic.
Yeah.
This is on the board. Okay. So now he's a clear pawn down. Okay, we missed the tactic, and it wasn't so simple.
Yeah.
Now, can he draw this? Tough.
It's tough, yeah. I mean, the black king's very active. That is a clear passed pawn, not just an extra pawn. And if black can activate the rook, then it's not going to be easy to draw this one.
Okay, Alireza now has 38 seconds against Wesley, 2 minutes. I think we should stick with this game because the other one is still kind of brewing out of the opening, but this is obviously absolutely critical. Wesley in a must-win situation. So what does he do? H5, maybe? Fix the pawns?
Yeah, he needs to. If he can swap off pawns, he's doing.
Or G4. Okay, he's. Do you know? For practically this entire game, I've been going. Okay, G4. Come on, G4. He's resisted pushing the pawns.
Yeah, for a long time now. I mean, this is still in the balance. This one. I mean, I think.
Okay, what's your feeling? Come on. Give us
I'm gonna think Wesley's gonna win this one, just the way the game's going. I mean, he's now activated his rook. The H pawn could even be a weakness for white, but I think just simply the D pawn and the king and the rook can motor on down bit by bit. I mean, I'd say 65% chance of winning for Wesley would be if I had to put my neck on the line. What do you reckon, Danny, if you're going to put some stats on it?
Well, I suppose the trend of the game, which is that Wesley has basically never lost the advantage and has just increased it slightly to the point where he's won a pawn. Yeah. So if just the flow of the game, I suppose I've got to say Wesley will close it out. And particularly, Alireza now down to 10 seconds.
Yeah. So if anyone's just joined, and hello to the raiders from the Kasparov channel on Twitch, and it's getting to the critical stages of the quarterfinals, the Champions Tour, and we're in a position here where Wesley needs to win with the black pieces to take it to a blitz playoff, and he's making very good progress, but it is a rook ending, and we know what they say about rook endings always being drawn. I'm not sure that's the case here with this good extra pawn. The other game is also, we'll come back to that one later on, but just to let you know, Dominguez has to win with black there. Little bit of, I guess the G7 pawn is one of White's hopes, right? That now he's got this H5 move in, he can always annoy that pawn with his rook, giving him counterplay. I don't know if it's enough, but it's certainly counterplay. Yeah,
and that's definitely the big issue in the position for black, how you somehow deal with that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Wesley could avoid that, but that's definitely improved White's defensive chances.
Yeah,
because if he's got to liquidate with G6 at some moment, then leaves the pawn split.
Yeah. Well, now the critical thing is, can you grab that pawn? I mean, you go rook A7, and how does black defend the G pawn?
Well, I guess he starts checking.
Yeah, and just tries to queen, does he? Okay,
G4 check it first. Ooh. Wow. Ooh. So that's a bit of calculation. What happens on rook takes pawn?
Well, you have to take on D5 and hope this is okay.
Wow, I wouldn't. Do you know what? He played that so quickly.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to calculate that so quickly.
I mean, obviously he had very little time left, but this is, I mean, okay, you go King E6.
King E6, G4. I think that's the move. And then we have something like this here. King comes back. Probably a draw, because after this, I think that's just a draw.
Yeah.
And if the king comes forward, then you can always block it out. So, wow. Yeah. But
very confident calculation by Alireza to improve his position a bit, because, well, Wesley saw that. He's now had to move the king back, and that's improved White's position because he's going to pick that pawn up, but black king's on a worse square. So, okay, I guess.
Yeah, but still not clear, is it? Because no. I just wonder whether F4 has actually compromised White's pawns a bit here. So after takes, maybe we throw in a check and then take here.
Yeah.
And both these pawns are a little bit vulnerable now.
Yes.
Don't know. That's a very risky decision. But any pawn move changes the position, and it's incredibly committal.
Yeah.
And Alireza, what's happening to his time?
Well, has he lost on time? Is that possible? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's lost on time. I mean, it's either frozen or he's okay. There's been plenty of moves here.
We're updating.
Oh, now. Wow. Yeah. Okay, plenty of moves. Okay, there's a bit of a delay there. What happened, Danny? Because
okay, let's go back. So left it here, check here, and okay, liquidation. Wow, this is absolutely on the edge, because we're going to get a position where White's king is distracted by this pawn, but then this king will shuffle over, probably the H pawn will drop, and then is the F pawn going to be enough? Is Black's king in a good position? And it's kind of forced White's king to the long side. I mean, I think it's all about tempi. I'm surprised the king went back. I'm surprised Wesley put the king back.
Yeah.
That looks like a strange decision to me.
I mean, my feeling is this should be a draw with correct play. I mean, if you can swap one more pawn off, so you use the H pawn to do some distraction idea and try to win one of those black pawns, your king is going to be in front of the other one. So it should, I feel, be a draw. But it doesn't mean it will be with this time limit and with the tension. Do you think it should be a book draw with perfect play or not, Danny? I mean, it's hard to call.
Yeah, really. I'm just wondering whether the king just comes in front of the pawn and then tries to shuffle down the board, or whether you bring the king back and try to round up the H pawn. But you'd imagine it's a draw.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, so the king is dragged here.
Yeah.
So this is very interesting. So basically, I think what he wants to do is now king f7 or king f5, doesn't matter which, and then take here. So basically, let me just show one variation. So for example, this, and this position is this king and pawn endgame is, it is winning for black, basically. So I think that's what he's trying to do. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
But is it enough?
Well, maybe we're hearing a bit of help that king d3 was a big blunder. In actual fact, the natural move, he had to put the king somewhere else. And it now looks, according to the computer, at least, that Wesley is winning. Okay, so I mean, one possibility, is to check and cut on the G file, because this is not simple. Now move the rook back along the G file. Still, I mean, big technical difficulties. Or do you just go f5 and rook e4? Is that possible? What if I just put my king on h5 and go rook g4?
Yeah.
Or rook g4 at the right
bring the king. I
mean, maybe it's block that and just push the F win. I think look at the camera. Alireza realizes it's just game over.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I think,
it comes back to this thing we mentioned earlier, that he played too strongly for the draw, and I think that's kind of a gift for a player like Wesley, who technically is so good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, you're playing into your opponent's hands. Wesley is a very good technical player, and you're playing for the draw, and you should never really play for a draw. I think this is just going to a playoff now, and the playoff situation is 2 blitz games of 5 minutes, and then Armageddon if there's no result after that. I mean, I think the problem here, we can see it's just quite easy now, I think, with a D pawn coming. And you can see the body language there. Alireza giving a bit of a smile, but he's going to be really upset with that one.
Do you know what? This position, I think, is a win even without the D pawn, because the king is cut,
right,
and the pawn advances with supported by the king, and the king is just way out of there we go. It really is game over. It's cut along here as well, so that's resignable. Wow, extraordinary.
So playoffs they go, and there's still one other critical game going on, and that is, can Dominguez with the black pieces take this one to a playoff? And the only way that is going to be possible if he wins a black. And looking at the time situation and even the position, I would say black's got probably what he wants here. I mean, we'll get to the position. Danny, will take us through, of course.
So here we go. I really like this plan with bishop f8 and playing c5. I looked at this variation a few months ago, and because there was a lot of action in this line, and white seemed to be doing pretty well. But this whole idea of just rook e8, bishop back to f8, and then hitting d4 really quickly. d4, the crucial point in the position, supporting the knight on e5. And if you get in f4, well, as Jordan mentioned, this plan of f4, bishop e1, bishop h4. But actually, if the knight hits the d pawn really quickly with knight c6, actually you can force a trade. And that's what's happened here. Right. So the active knight is traded off. And now we have just this typical hanging pawn position, where, I mean, I've always liked this position, because you get decent attacking chances, and that looks like, well, with the knight on e4, then I would say this is, I'm not saying black has a huge advantage, but basically this is the best that you can hope for with black, with this attacking position. And now the rook coming to the third rank, the sixth rank, swinging across. So is there enough pressure here that can counter black's attack on the king side? How do we defend the pawn, or do we ditch it? Do we play rook g6? Let's try rook g6. Can we go for it straight away?
With the idea, if you take on d5, just come in, right?
Queen
well,
h4.
I take on e4 here, unfortunately. I think just.
Oh no! Oh no! That's so slimy.
Yeah,
so slimy. Rook takes and the back rank.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think that's actually a really important variation. Otherwise, this black's initiative would start to look fantastic. So how does black deal with that?
Yeah, this is an important line, certainly. I mean, you can't play. I mean, rook d6 looks very ugly. I don't want to play this move, but do I have to play this move?